in this video, I'll be showing you guys exactly how I got my top setter to a 90% show rate. Now, to give you guys a bit of context, pretty much appointment setting and appointment setter, all they do is as soon as someone opts in to buy your program, your coaching, whatever it may be, as soon as someone opts in, a setter is someone who looks at them on some sort of list, some sort of form, whatever it may be that your operator has it set to, they'll look through it and they'll give you a call, making sure that they can see if you have money, see where your current situation is, to move you to the next step to book an appointment with your closer. So hopefully they can close the deal and everyone makes a bit of money. Now, this is the one of my top setters that I trained over the course of last month. It's a bit blurry, but if you look close enough, it says 629 to 729, pretty much the whole month of July. And I'm just gonna go over like what exactly we did in terms of like getting him to this point so that he could be able to like collect a lot of money for our team. Now we were able to do $120,000 as of last month. So I'm just gonna just take you guys through like a bunch of stuff that I helped him with and that I felt like really made him this next level setter. So pretty much some non-negotiables as a setter that everybody should know is volume, number one, and daily KPIs. Now volume is the biggest thing as a setter because setting is not the hardest thing to do. Obviously, it takes some skill. You have to learn it to an extent, but it's really not the hardest thing to do. What really separates a lot of setters from others and what a top setter does differently is that they put a lot more work in than other setters. It's kind of more like a volume based type of game. The more you're doing, the more you'll get out and the more noticed you'll be by your managers, your operators, or whatnot, and the more results you'll get, pretty much. As well as the speed to lead type of program, I guess you could say. So what a lot of setters on my team did was I would have them lead a notification on. So obviously, it's not a 24/7 job. When you had the time, you would go ahead and dial or whatnot. But obviously, the guys who would wake up earlier, who would have the notifications on their phone, from their Slack channel, from Discord, from whatever it was that you were getting notifications from when a lead opted in, you could give them a call right away. Obviously, if they opt in or whatnot, they're going to be on their phone, they're fresh, their mind's on the creator, on the program, on whatever it is that they're looking at. So if you can get your setters to call them as soon as possible after they opt in, number one, they're going to have a higher percent pickup rate. And number two, they're going to be more warm. Their mind's going to be more on it. So all you kind of need to get out of them is the money, hoping that they have the money. Lastly, just communication with the closers. The setter closer duo is honestly like what pulls in the most money for the team. That's pretty much what pulls in all the money for the team. So the more you can communicate with your closer, give them a bit more context in terms of like what they should know in case it's like a problem setter, in case they had a lot of limiting beliefs, whatever it may be. You can give this context to your closer, tell them if someone's confirmed, not confirmed, all that type of communication stuff is what you'll need with your closers. The framework and thoughts to keep in mind. So obviously the number one job as a setter is to build a gap and be as less salesy as possible, as humanly possible. What I found out and what I've learned as I've been training setters, understanding them, trying to make them the best on my team, is that a lot of guys out here in this space will teach you that building pain is the number one thing to make them show up on a call. And from what I found, building pain definitely does do well for a lot of setters. It definitely is something good to implement on your setting calls. However, I found that people show up to a much higher extent after they found out that this can actually help them and that we're actually here to help, rather than trying to stick out all their pain in hopes that they'll show up because of that sole reason. It's definitely good to build pain as well as show them that you can help them. And I'll explain what I mean by this in a second. But the more sales resistance you have in this setting call, the less likely they're going to show up. And I'll explain a bit more after this. But it's as well as it is just having a conversation and understanding like the current situation, like why they need help. Simple as why'd you opt in, what'd you see in the creator, whatever it may be. And actually like understanding where they want to be, and that's where you could build a bit of the gap. So through your call, you're gonna understand like what they need help with, why they thought the creator could help them, what they do, and then where they want to be. You can ask them some sort of question down the road, if everything look good, whatever it may be, where do you want to be from here, XYZ, whatever it may be. Understanding that and then probing it a bit more. After they give you where they want to be, you can dig deeper into that, find out like what their dream state really looks like. It kind of gets them excited, so they like know that if they do get to this point, they do put in the work, they will get to where they want to be, and that's with the help from our program, right? So it's as well as just showing how we can actually help. The thing that I've realized is that when you can get someone to understand that we're here to solve their problem, whether it's making money, whether it's trying to learn a new skill, whether it's helping their mom retire. If we can show them that we have the capability to help them in terms of that, they have a higher chance of showing up rather than digging into all their pain. A lot of guys will be like, um, is this what have we done in the past, whatever it may be? Is this is some sort of is what you've done in the past? Is there a reason you're still doing things that way? Are you willing to settle? Those questions are a lot of pain building questions, which are okay. They're good to use, but at the same time, it's like you can't build so much pain in only a 6 to 10 minute call, 5 to 10 minute call, which is what a setting call is typically. You can only build so much pain to make them show up in terms of buying a multiple four figure program for the next call. You can only make that happen like to an extent. So if you can show them that you can actually help them reach their goals, they get more excited to that rather than getting more down on themselves because of pain, is what I've at least found out. Now, the probing questions to do so. Obviously, when a call comes, you find out what got them interested, what made them feel like the creator can help them. This sells them on the creator, explaining that like this wasn't some sort of like type of deal where they just opted in and want to learn this in particular, but why they opted into this creator in specific, why they feel like this creator could actually help them. It sells them a bit more after they tell themselves why they feel like this. Helps your closer's job be a lot easier, helps the close become a lot easier. Like I said, goal and income desire, financial qualify. So this is the tricky part. This is honestly what makes or break a show up out of 90% of the time in a setting call. Excuse me. Now, the thing with financial qualifying is there's a lot of ways to do it. Now, something along the lines that I've trained my setters to say would go over after you'd ask them for their income goal, their goals in mind, their desired state, they tell you what they want to be at, how much money they want to make, how it would change them, whatnot. You use that as ammo when you financial qualify them. If we could help you XYZ, I'm sure you're aware that working with Creator to help you do so, there is some startup capital involved there. Now, if everything we do go over makes sense and we could help you in this perfect world, how much capital do you have set aside at the moment that you could put into something like this? That is going to give them, with all that context, they understand in their mind that they should be able to put a good amount of money into this. Like, they're not going to tell you $50, $100, unless they physically only have that. But if there's someone with a decent job, this is a better lead that you found, then they should give you a higher number that you should be okay with. Now, after you heard the number, let's say you heard the number you needed here, whatever your program says, you heard the minimum number that you're going to need for a potential close. A lot of setters and a lot of guys teach to book right away. Okay, perfect, man, let's get you on the calendar. That is very sales resistance because they find out in the prospect's mind that they understand you asked for the how much money they had to put into this business, and now all you want to do is book them. So pretty much in their mind, it's like, how can you not think that all we're here to do is take your money? Because at this point, they've told you how much they want to put into it, but now it's like, okay, let's move you to the next step. We know you have money now. That's kind of what a prospect can be given off of if a setter tells them that. So we don't book right away. At least my setter is never booked right away. We ask how we can help. So in the beginning, in the intro, when you ask what exactly got you interested, they're going to tell you something along the lines of making money. They're currently whatever they're doing. They're currently in XYZ business model. They need help with this in XYZ business model, whatever it may be. And based off that context at the beginning of the call, you can ask something along the lines with, you mentioned you need help with this. What do you need help with so I can write it down for the coach on the next call? You mentioned you're a beginner, you haven't started yet. What do you know so far? And if I can help clear anything up for you. Those type of questions, after getting the qualifying, jumping right into those type of questions, getting their mind off the money is what's going to make your show rate 100 times higher. Lastly, after you've done that, after they're intrigued on what they need help with, they know you're going to write it down for them. They know that you are here to help and that you're here to actually like explain that to them rather than just booking them in after they've heard about the money. That's when you want to hit them with a challenge question. So before you actually book them, after you've talked about that, what they need help with a bit further, what you can go into is some sort of challenge question. And I'm not too sure why exactly this works so well. I saw someone mention it. But ever since I started implementing this also shot my show rate up to like next level, or all these setters show rates up to a next level. Now, a challenge question is something along the lines of, yeah, man, and you're not one of those guys who tells me like you're really committed, you want to make this work for yourself, but you don't show up on us. Like that's not you, is it? That type of question is gonna get someone to get challenged in their brain, to know that they don't want to be like these other people. And I exactly don't know why it does that. I want to do it. I want to say like internalizes something in them to like be like, okay, I don't want to be like the rest of the people who said they had commitment and then they never pursued it. That's something that I feel like these prospects get a lot of the time. So they like almost feel forced to show up because they challenge themselves to make sure that they're not one of these types of people. That's also a great thing to implement. Lastly, just some good things. Setting calls should only be 5 to 10 minutes max. Like I mentioned, setting isn't the hardest thing in the world. So finding most success is by outworking and out dialing everyone. Um, you stick it out and you stuck out by putting in the most work as a setter. When I say stick out, you are going to be known as like from your operator, from your manager, you're going to stick out the most if you just put in the most work. Like I said, it's not the hardest thing to do. So as long as you can put in the most work, you're going to stick out. You're going to make the most money on the team, as well as booking the most calls on the closer's calendar. This is pretty obvious. The more calls you'll book, more chance your closers will to have a close, higher percentage they have to close, more money you're gonna make, right? If too much time is spent on these setting calls, like if they're over 10 minutes, I've seen some setters have 15, 20, 25, 30 minutes. This is just the fattest waste of time because you have to take guard of the call and you have to help them understand that you're the one who's like a bit superior in the situation. You can't let them talk yap your ear off because then you're going to stick on these calls for 30, 40 minutes and these calls should only take 5 to 10 minutes. So when you could be instead using that time to be dialing someone else with money, but instead you're spending 25 minutes on the phone, it's not going to do anything for you well or for your team. It's just going to be a big waste of time, right? So you're just not going to be as efficient with your time. It gives you less time for more volume, right? Your main goal on these calls is to get in, qualify, book, and get out. This way you can get the most out of your actual setting calls. But yeah, that's pretty much what I did in terms of training my setters to actually have a 90% close rate. Obviously, good things like mock calls, training, a coach, someone to teach you, your manager, having a lot of these guys in your life to train you, to mock with you, is going to make you better. Now, if you guys have any questions on this, leave a comment. I'd love to answer them. If you have any questions, shoot me a DM if you guys need help with setting or whatever it may be. But other than that, thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one.